Victoria is Australia's most geographically diverse state, yet it is often underestimated. On a map it appears small, tucked into the southeastern corner of the continent, overshadowed by New South Wales, Queensland and Western Australia. For many, Victoria simply means Melbourne, but that small appearance is deeply misleading. Within this single state lies an extraordinary range of landscapes: snow-capped mountains, ancient rainforests, volcanic plains, semi-arid scrublands, and wild coastlines shaped by the Southern Ocean. Victoria is not defined by one landscape. It is defined by collision: mountains against plains, rainforests against dry country, volcanoes against ancient rock, rivers against deserts, and land against sea. To truly understand Victoria, we must cross it. Not randomly, but as a journey from east to west. Chapter 1. Where Victoria rises, the Eastern Highlands. Our journey begins in the far east, in the Victorian Alps, the highest part of the state, and the southern end of Australia's Great Dividing Range. This vast mountain chain runs over 3,500 kilometres from Queensland to Victoria. It is not young or sharp like the Himalayas, but older, lower and deeply weathered. Yet its role is vital. It divides the continent. On one side, short rivers flow toward the Tasman Sea and Bass Strait. On the other, long rivers flow inland toward the Murray-Darling Basin. The Victorian Alps are the roof of Victoria. Mount Bogong, the state's highest peak, rises to nearly 2,000 metres. In winter, snow transforms these mountains into a landscape few associate with mainland Australia. These highlands are Victoria's water towers. Moist air from the sea is forced upward, cooling and releasing rain and snow. This orographic rainfall feeds forests and rivers that sustain regions far beyond the mountains. The Murray, the Kiewa, the Ovens, the Goulburn and the Snowy River all begin here. Without these mountains, Victoria would be drier, its rivers weaker, and its settlement patterns entirely different. For thousands of years, Aboriginal peoples moved through these landscapes, using them seasonally. Today, much of the high country is protected in national parks, though grazing, logging and tourism have left their marks. Chapter 2. The Wet East. Gippsland. Leaving the mountains and moving south and east, we enter Gippsland, one of Victoria's great geographic regions. It is a land of forests, coal basins, rivers, floodplains, lakes and coastal barriers. Gippsland is wetter and greener than Western Victoria. Rivers drain from the highlands toward Bass Strait, creating a strong geographic gradient, rugged mountains in the north, agricultural valleys in the middle, and flat lakes and wetlands near the coast. East Gippsland remains one of the wildest parts of the state, forested, mountainous and sparsely populated. Further west, the Latrobe Valley opens up, famous for its brown coal deposits, which powered much of Victoria's industrial development. The most spectacular feature of Gippsland is the Gippsland Lakes, one of Australia's largest coastal lagoon systems. These lakes formed through a long battle between rivers and the sea. Rivers carried water and sediment toward the coast, while waves built sandy barriers that trapped water behind them. Over thousands of years, lagoons expanded, creating a vast network of wetlands, islands and channels. This system is protected by 90 Mile Beach, a 150-kilometre long sandy wall that separates the lakes from Bass Strait. Without this barrier, the lakes would be far more exposed to the ocean. The Gippsland Lakes are a hybrid landscape neither fully river nor fully sea, formed by the constant negotiation between freshwater and marine forces. Chapter 3. From forests to the Central Corridor. Travelling west from Gippsland, the landscape shifts again. The mountains fragment. The Yarra Ranges, east of Melbourne, capture rainfall and supply the city's water. The Dandenong Ranges form a green, forested edge to the metropolis. The Yarra River connects the highlands to the bay, carrying the story of eastern rainfall into the heart of Victoria. This brings us to Port Phillip Bay, the geographic foundation of modern Victoria. The bay is not ancient. It was formed only about 20,000 years ago, when rising seas after the last ice age flooded a lowland basin. Bass Strait was once dry land, connecting Tasmania to the mainland. As ice melted and sea levels rose, the ocean invaded, creating the sheltered bay we see today. A narrow entrance called the Heads connects it to Bass Strait, with strong currents and dangerous waters. Port Phillip Bay offered the perfect conditions for a major port. It provided sheltered water, access to inland routes, and connection to maritime trade. Melbourne grew where the Yarra River met the bay, where fresh water met salt water, and where inland routes met the sea.